Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. New Hampshire's population has grown by 30,300 the past 4 years. So the state's population now stands at 1,409,000, mostly people who have moved into New Hampshire. Here, take a look at this map of New Hampshire that shows changes in population by municipality or community from 2020 to 2024. Communities in the colors brown, tan, or yellow have lost population. Communities in white have remained static, and the communities in light and dark green have gained population. With me in the studio to show us a list of those communities that have gained or lost populations is Jessica Williams, a policy analyst at the New Hampshire Fiscal Policy Institute, who did the research. Welcome, Jess. Nice to have you here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
I was struck by the fact that population in the smaller cities and in small communities has gone up. And especially in the Lakes region, Winnipesaukee, Sunapee, and in the White Mountains. But New Hampshire's two largest cities, Manchester and Nashua, no.
Yeah, so both cities actually declined population in the beginning of the pandemic, likely due to increased availability and remote work and higher costs of living driving people out. Both cities actually did gain population over the last couple of years. When we look at data spanning from 2022 to 2024, for example, Manchester added about 900 people, Nashua added about 800 people.
Okay, so they're on the upswing again.
Yes.
Here are the communities that gained the most population. Take a look. Merrimack, and I'll read it slowly. You can see the numbers. Merrimack, Salem, Dover, Lebanon, and Rochester. Just no surprises, population growth in the eastern and southeastern parts of the state where most of the population of New Hampshire lives, and in Lebanon. But besides the pandemic, which brought a lot of people into the state, especially from Massachusetts, what else is driving the population growth?
Absolutely. So all of these communities are located in and around economic hubs in the state. While not all cities in New Hampshire have grown, these areas in particular may have grown due to increased availability of housing. In 2023, 4 of these cities added 100 or more housing units to their housing market, which may have brought in more workers and more younger professionals to the area.
In the smaller communities too. And here are the communities that lost the most people or residents, and take a look at the list. I'll read it slowly. Durham, surprise, Berlin, Plymouth, Goffstown, and Stewartstown. And Keene and Derry, you also showed Keene and Derry on that list. Durham's population, driven mostly by the University of New Hampshire, has laid off university staff in the last couple of years. Is that part of the decline?
So Durham and Plymouth, of course, are home to 2 large universities with declining school enrollment, likely driving these declining populations. On the other hand, Berlin and Goffstown are both located in Cawas County, which has been the slowest growing county in the state, at least in this decade, which could be driving some of that population decline.
And Berlin's been trying to keep population since the last paper mill closed in 2006. We know that. Now, the fastest growing communities, again, I'm going to read it slowly. Merrimack, these are the fastest growing in New Hampshire. Merrimack, Epping, Brookfield, and Lebanon. Merrimack's almost becoming a small city, Jess. They have 29,000 plus people now.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned earlier, population gains in these areas are likely driven by increased housing availability, particularly in Merrimack. These areas are also located around natural amenity-rich areas in the state, which is attractive to both retirees moving to the state as well as remote workers.
And here's a list of 4 more fast-growing communities. I'll read it slowly. Tuftonboro, Croydon, Brentwood, Moultonboro, and also on your list was Effingham, Wakefield, Madison, Ossipee, and Conway. Bottom line, the headline you have put on all these population numbers is that the lakes and mountains are leading New Hampshire's population growth while some cities are shrinking. Is that fair?
Overall, that's what we see in the data, at least spanning from 2020 to 2024. Again, largely due to changes around the pandemic, more retirees, more people moving into their second homes, particularly around Carroll County.
Yeah, Carroll County. And the beat goes on. Jessica Williams, policy analyst at the New Hampshire Fiscal Policy Institute, based in Concord. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
If you missed part of this demographic study of New Hampshire, you can go to WMUR.com, where it will be posted all this week.